So I'm just driving around bitching to myself as usual. I'm just like, well played, you know. This is the absolute perfect mental, menticide psychological warfare setup. You drop a few, awake people amongst the population, make sure they never meet up, they can never get together, they can't afford to live alone, most of them, and surround them with a sea of NPCs that gaslight them and pretty much force them to play along, to shut up. If you want to have a roof over your head, you have to fuck up. And then there's all the guilt and shame tactics as well. And as others have said, as Derek has said, it probably is all just totally set up. It's probably totally fucking rigged. Simulation, whatever. I've been hesitant to just say, alright, it's all, I don't know about predestined, but it's all just a big setup. For instance, the people I go to live with, they end up being very nice, very considerate, very empathic, but they're asleep. They think Gov is sort of neutral at best, or even benevolent, rather than what I think, where it was basically we're in a open air concentration camp, and we're basically behind enemy lines, and we're having to try to stay alive while they're basically covertly murdering us and telling us that they love us. And it's going through that alone and having that fake narrative enforced by everyone around you, it's so torturous. And then obviously the due torture that some people are going through, that I went through as well in the past, severely attacked with electricity. What else was I going to say? And then you go on Facebook, and then there's all these spiritual groups that are going on about raise your vibration and all this bullshit, like co-creating your reality, and if you think good stuff, then all the evil will just magically go away, and then you've got Christians who are like waiting on the Lord, and Bible God loves you, God is love. Well, I think anyone who I don't know if I can say that. I think many of us who have been through a lot of fucking abuse, we understand, that God in the Bible, that's literally exactly how a narcissist operates. And so when I'm not just escaping with the ducks, which is like the sensible thing to do, and I get lured back into spending too much time on Facebook, and I just see even if I was to find another awake person, even if I was to find another awake person to live with, there's so much division in that as well amongst the truther community, that it's just damn, it's pretty much virtually impossible to find anyone you resonate with. I have tried living in the back of here, but it's I feel like it's a death sentence. They deliberately run people out of town, like Snowball from Animal Farm. I know that sounds, you could be accused, you're a grandiose narcissist, you think you're Snowball, blah blah blah, you ain't shit, and I've heard all that, but just that analogy in terms of the good people get chased out of town, and then they live in alienation, and it's pretty much a death sentence. Like, you know, we're not meant to live alone. Um, we're never going to reach anywhere near our potential if we live alone and we don't have any support. Um, you know, I don't think it's weak uh, to want support from time to time. There's another one of these spiritual wizard crafts that I see. You know, they say like, oh, they say they kind of glamorize it, like living this monk life alone and being a spiritual man and, you know, contemplation or whatever. Um, and hey, I've had 20 years pretty much living alone, like with a family of cluster bees, which is, it's worse than being alone actually. Um, but yeah, I was kind of over that, and I had hoped, you know, after an awakening, so called a massive awakening, like I had hoped to finally find my tribe, as they say, which it seems pretty much impossible because many of them are just gone this whole like, you know, love and light and all this kind of stuff, and I feel like that will be deluding myself. Um, so, you know, my tribe is still the ducks in the park, and they're really lovely, but they're kind of a transient lot. Like, they come and go, so I can't really form a good bond with them. Fun little bastards, though. But yeah, the whole Zizetsung bullshit, it just, you know, well played, eh? It's so effective, but at the same time, before I had been put through it, I thought there's no way this is going to fucking work. Like, man, I can't wait to tell everyone what they fucking did to me, and then you know, I'll be believed, supported, and I can tell them all about how evil works, and, you know, they'll be appalled, and, you know, maybe I actually kind of thought like maybe I was going to play a vital part in like waking people up and, you know, let's fucking get him. But yeah, I guess that was delusional, eh? Man. So yeah, it's just very effective, isn't it? If you want to wreck someone's life, you just traumatize them in bizarre ways, and, you know, you always get away with it. It probably helps if you're connected and powerful, I guess. Um, but yeah, it's a very effective thing, isn't it? This whole, you know, organised stalking, harassment thing. And you can never nail anyone down, you know, never nail those fuckers down. And like your doctor or, you know, whoever's putting in their little knife in and their little gaslight, their little, you know, little betrayal. You can never actually fucking nail them down and establish whether they deliberately did that, knowingly, or whether they were just indoctrinated to, you know, think you're insane and to um, play their little part in discrediting you. So yeah, the living situation, man, that is, you can see why they wanted to make it unaffordable to live alone, because then you got to live amongst, you know, a nest of NPCs or whatever you want to call them. This, I know that sounds callous and harsh, but you have to live around in a nest of people who don't see things anywhere near like you do. So you have to self-censor while you're being put through this shit, and yeah, some of the conversations are just awful to have to stay silent on. I can't see any way out, any other options really. Yeah. Anyway, I think that camera's going to overheat in a minute. I'll just turn this off. Just came to get some bird seed, and then I'm going to hit the park and have a good time with my friends in the park. My little ducks. Duck buddies. you know, just to not be a complete miserable bastard, I am very grateful for the ducks.